Welcome to this tutorial. So today we have an interesting dashboard in more ways than one, I believe. First, we are really going deep into the 3D effect. So I always say we need to try and move away to showing things that look too much like Excel. So I think this is a good example. Some people, if you print that, people might not even know that comes from Excel. And the second thing is this is a dynamic dashboard. Let me explain. So this is a very specific example with resource, but you could use the same principle for other criteria that you would like to sort or filter and the likes. So here, for instance, I have some resources that have tasks allocated. We'll have a look at the task list later on. But just to give you an overview, here you can have all the resources with the work left, 6 resources with most work left to do, and you have the resource and the tasks under. And here this is the overall, the busiest tasks. So here I can change the work left from the estimate. So this is the total estimate, and everything changes, this change, this change. The order here changes. Here you have Hervé first and Betty second. So if I change with work left, you notice they have swapped around because Betty is becoming first. She's the one with the most work left. She didn't have the busiest workload, but she's the one with the biggest work left. So all that is being done dynamically, and then you have the tasks underneath that are sorted also based on what our criteria is. Here, for instance, Betty has 25-28, which is the work left that she has, sorted from the biggest work left to the smallest. And then if I change this, Betty is still here. Okay, so now I'm just going to first, I don't do that usually, but I'm just going to explain how to build a dashboard first, the framework part. Now, those, I cannot take credit from those. I've seen that in I think it's a dummies for Excel. I might give that in a description if I think about it, so I don't want to get sued. So how do we do this beautiful effect? So we insert shapes. So here I have a shape, for instance, and I take a rectangle, I move it around, I remove the borders. Let's remove the borders. Just put it this way. And then what I'm trying to take a light shade. And then what I do is I add shadows to it. So I just can use the standard shadows, but if you feel this standard shadow is not strong enough, you go under shadow and you go under shadow options, and here you can put it much darker. You can reduce the transparency, which will make it much darker. It might look sharper this way against a dark background. So here, for instance, if I put a dark background here, doesn't have to be the same color, but so this is a bit too dark. Or let me put this one up. Okay, so here you can see there's a nice effect, but where they take a step farther is we have this 3D effect like it's hanging above the cell here. So the way to do this is you insert another shape, a dark one this time. Just put everything black. You turn it around. It's a little bit manual, but it's worth it in a way. Would you agree? Not? Don't agree? Okay, so for this you might want to zoom in to make sure you know what you're doing. So, and here you just align it just this way, and look, well, that's actually not too bad. Always look surprised when it works in my demos, but so this gives you this effect here. Nothing prevents you from referring to numbers or to put anything in here. Actually, I could have put, actually I might do this, I might just add one here, or the likes for the final version. Okay, so this is it. Apart from that, we just have a big cell here that we merge all this. It's a wide row. Here the same principle, the difference is I take a rectangle, obviously, and I'm doing some gradient. I'm doing a bit of gradient, so I've taken a deep purple and I'm just applying some gradient to it. And same black triangle trick here. So let me remove all this. And I think building this is quite simple. But I would like you to have two columns if you want to put the two. So you take the two columns, you don't merge them. You can just take 4 this way, and then in a lighter color, in a color under here, under the same but lighter, you do this. So here I'm using the page layout colors, the Office one. So that's why I have these colors. But nothing prevents you from, switching this around, and you have some beautiful, I think the blue too is usually pretty good. Some red also can be quite nice if you want to wake people up. But that's it. So this is how you build this. Okay, I'm just removing this. So you do this with 6 different colors. And for the moment, we don't really worry how we build that inside. We can see that later on. But first of all, if you want to try and have this here, you can take around 10 rows for each. You build all this, you build the triangles, apply different color. Once you have done one, obviously, you can just duplicate it and change the color. And here the colors are coming back, so you just need 3 sets of color. And here, this is the total that I have here, all tasks. And you have the tasks here, and you do something a little bit different, maybe a little bit of a darker blue. So this is how the blue progresses from very light to, I just might as well show you what I made it, to a bit deeper, and you put a deeper here for consistency, and here you put a very dark one, which is the bottom one here. Okay, anything that I've missed here? Yes, that here you need to have a validation. You need to be able to validate, and if you don't know how to validate, I have just 2 criteria here, but you could have 25. That might make things a little bit more complicated down the track, so I suggest you start with 2. Put work left, so you'd go under data, and you need to have somewhere data validation, and you need some, just say yes, list, and then you select the 2 criteria, and I have the criteria here. So what a beautiful transition. This is the first tab, dashboard, and the second tab is called calculation, or you can call it whatever you like. It's not the settings. As such, the only settings that you have here, I suppose, is to put the text. So here, for instance, I have the 2 criteria. So that's just the 2 choices that the users has. Estimate or work left. And that's all you can do. And then the text, 6 resources with biggest workload will come up when I do estimate. And the work left, 6 resources with most work left to do. And here I have this very fancy formula. If dashboard is equal to estimate, then calc F3, otherwise calc F4. So the dashboard S8, this is this one. It's also called a selection. If you don't know how to do this, you position yourself on this, and you press selection twice. You write selection, and then you press enter twice. So here, this cell is called selection. Okay, so now let's have a look at the task list. So this is a standard task list, the pale blue here. This is a task list that I'm using often, so I'm not going to walk you through it in too much detail. If you want to have a look at my other videos, you can. I put a task number, a task name, a resource, urgent, not urgent, yes, no, estimate, percentage done. So this is the manual input, and the done is calculated by multiplying the percentage done to the estimate. The left to do is the estimate minus what has been done. Yeah, I know. And the left percentage, I just do some check, some basic check that there is something in the task name, and then I deduct the percentage done by 100% with 100%. So here, for instance, 0 gives me 100% left to do. I'm highlighting this in different color to let people know that this is calculated. So obviously more effort could be done on this to make it a bit more presentable if you want to give that to some users. But this is a demo on the dashboard, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. I have 2 work fields on this. The first work field, before I go into the work field, I have named a couple of arrays. I think this one, Pom pom. Now this one here, estimate. I've called it the estimate one. Oh no, but it's here that I've named them. Sorry, strike that. I will name them later on. So I have two columns that I'm using as a working column. So the first one is column to sort. I went through a few iterations of this, how to do this, but I came back to this option here. Instead of having the dynamic column selection, I'm using an additional column here to select which column I need to sort by. So here, for instance, the selection, this is a selection if the selection is estimate. As a quick reminder, the selection is this. If the selection here is estimate, I sort by what? I retrieve, the estimate cell here. And if not, I retrieve the left to do, which is the work left. So if it's estimate here in this selection, I use this. If not, I use this. And I do this all the way down. So this way, when I do my sorting later on, I know that I can always sort by this. I don't have to do any additional ifs. The if has been done here. Another work cell that I'm using here is I'm just selecting 12. Why not? Or I could have selected only 10 because my task name here are usually a little bit long. So I just wanted to retrieve only the left part. Doesn't always make sense here, but hopefully you'll have shortened task name and it will make more sense. But here and this way, I just don't have anything too long here. Okay, so those are my work fields. So now this task list here, I'm going to reproduce it, but with sorting it. Why do I sort the full thing? It's to populate this part here under each resource. This is what I want to populate. If I just put this randomly, then I would need to have this, but I wanted to have this sorted as well this way. Okay, so how do I do this? So I do a sort. Now, if you don't know sort, hopefully you have it in your version of Excel, that allows you to sort an array by a column. And the beauty of having this work field here is I know I always want to sort it by this column here. So what it does, it reproduces this full task list, but sorted this time. So here, for instance, here I have column to sort, I have 20, which is the estimate. This is a bad example because I need to put something else. Okay, here column to sort 18, which is left to do, because this is work left that we have selected. But if I go here and I have estimate, which is your initial total, then that is sorting by this column instead. So because this one is changing, so here that retrieves everything and it is sorting by this, we can check that it works. So this is a clone that is sorted. And then when I want to populate this part here, it's just a matter of reading the table in that direction, and we'll see that in a minute. Okay, I have another one here. So this is to make it simpler. I am just duplicating here just the two columns that I'm interested in. That will make my filter here simpler. This way I can just do a filter on that small array here without having to do any conditional or just to do it twice. I could have done it twice, but I like to put them together so this way it's much easier to retrieve. So we'll have a look on how we retrieve the name here at the top, but just for the task itself, I'm just doing a filter on that table here, and I'm filtering only the resources that I have in that cell here. Filter the small array that we've seen before. And the criteria here is the resource need to be equal to the resource that I have on top. And if not, if there is nothing, I put none, which I'll be very surprised if it is. Now, now you can tell me how did you get this, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this way that gives me everything. So, and if I just do the work left, this is 𝙤𝙤 is here now instead. Okay. Now this is exactly the same number because 𝙤𝙤 hasn't done anything yet. Now what else? Okay, so we've seen how to populate the bottom part. Now what about the top part? The top part needs some calculation, and here they come. So the first thing that I'm doing here, I'm doing a unique, and this is where I've been saying in my last video, is you could create a resource list and validate those cells here using the resource list. Sorry, but here decided to do the unique. I know it's a bit faster. I'm retrieving all the unique values of the task list and I'm dumping them here. So don't worry about sorting at the moment. And the advantage of this is you don't have to manage a task list. And if I were to add another one here, 𝙎𝙗𝙗𝙧2, you would just change it here. But if I want this one here, let's have a look. Put a 2 here. That would just add it at the bottom here. So this is just a unique function that we have. Unique and resource, the resource that I have named here. So this is what I wanted to mention. This array here is called resource. Okay. Now here I have I'm using the estimate column, so I need to let you know this is called estimate. I have called it estimate, and this one I've called it how much do I have to take left to do. So resource, estimate, and left to do. Okay, how am I going? I think I'll be lucky to have 50 views on this video. I'm just rushing it a bit, but only the best ones are left, I'm sure. Okay, so what do? We go here. Okay. I've retrieved this using unique. Here I'm doing a sum if. Sum if the criteria first, the selection criteria is I'm just want to have the total for the resource that is equal to 𝙤𝙤 here. So D42 is the 𝙤𝙤 here. And what do I retrieve? The estimate. It's what we have seen, the estimate here. Checking that this is in all this, checking that we have 𝙤𝙤, and if we do, we sum the estimate, which is this. On a side note, I could have used this table here, this unsorted table as well. That would have worked as well because we are just doing a total. Left to do, we've seen that. It's exactly the same. The difference is we're using left to do, which is this column here. Okay, now same trick, column to sort, depending on the estimate value. Here I'm doing the same. Column to sort, if it's estimate, if the selection is estimate, I just put this. If not, and then, or I put this. The left to do here, and I've just put all that bang. So yeah, as you can see, it's completely unsorted here. Now the sorting is being done here. Here I'm doing a sorting of these. I mean, there's some duplication, but this is the beauty of this new function, sort and filter and analysis. You just look, there's a little bit of a blue border here to let me know that this is a dynamic function. So when you add it here, you add it here as well. So sort, I'm sorting all this by what? By column 4. Column 4 is this one. So obviously I'm sorting it by column to sort. And -1, I don't know if I mentioned that before, it's descending. Column to sort, -1 is descending, column 11, here column 4, descending. So let's do a trial. Okay, so at the moment it's sorted by estimate. You can see, loop, no hands. Work left. It works, this is live, I'm taking a big risk here. Okay, Now this is done, this is sorted. So what does that give us? Well, that gives us what we wanted to start with, this sequence here from the biggest to the smallest. So here it just not very subtle, but what you have to do is you position yourself on here and you put equal to, and you take the first one to that cell here. Now you do it again, equal, and you take which one? The second one. The third one, oops. This way it's going to do it automatically, the sorting. So I think you get the message here. So this is it. So I've retrieved all my resources. Now the filter will work, because remember this filter, this is filtering all the tasks for that person based on the criteria that we have selected, that is here. The total here, I have several ways to doing it. So I could either do the sum like this, or I could have retrieved the 53 from here. I could have retrieved this one as well. So we're lucky it works. 53, 36, 25. It's always good to check if we are still on track, if things are working or not. Okay. Now, this is almost done. I assume that I've already shown you how to do this. Here I've just put equal selection, which is this cell here. So this is replicated here. Here we've seen these different colors. Tasks. I've added this because I thought that maybe there was a bit light on that side here. So I've just to balance the dashboard, I've just added this here. All tasks. And here they are sorted by the overall amount of tasks. I'm just putting a random number just to go all the way to the bottom. How do I do this? This is an equal this time. I've just put equal here, this one here. And then you have you take the other one as well, the total, the task and the total here. I mean, if you really feel that you need to put the resource here, as this is sorted, remember, I just can put the resource here. The work left in all tasks. Now, actually, just I'm thinking that maybe if you want to get some granny points, you could have here the urgency of the task. Okay, urgency of the task. What is a symbol for urgent? Urgent. No, yes. So here that will tell you if it's urgent or not. You could even do some conditional formatting, but we're getting a little bit carried away here. That was not even on the plan. Okay, now there are some things that I'm sure you want to fine tune. For instance, there are two things that I want to say. First, if you don't like those 0 here, so this is the work left, so obviously there will be zeros. If you don't like them, you just right-click on it and you put Format Cells, Custom, and you just put a hash. The task will still be here, and actually I could just format pen here because it's the same green. The task will still be here, but you will have 0 left. So maybe it's worth actually keeping the 0. Now, if you don't want the task at all, okay, good question. If you don't want the task at all, it's getting not that tricky, but you can use an advanced function of the filter. So the advanced function is you just add a Boolean condition, which is multiply by, which is the end. And then you would add the other function, which you would go back into the task list here that you have first selected. And you would, actually, which one is it? The Y, yes. And you would add the criteria that the left to do, this one here. The criteria that the left to do is not equal to 0. So that's why you would need to add another boolean along those lines. But just to let you know that you can do it. I'm not going to do it now because I could mess it up and that wouldn't look good. But just to let you know, if you want to add other criteria here, if you want to remove the task at 0, I think it's good to leave them, but you can do it by playing with the filter function and adding another condition here. What else? So we've seen about the page layout. I think this is always good. It depends if you want to catch people's attention or if you want something a bit more subtle. Let's say the more boring it is, the more professional it looks. Hopefully things are changing a bit, but here just I don't know, you can, I think if you take the median, it's usually pale, doesn't really work. This one is all over the place. So we are back to the good old blue that I prefer here. This one is nice, or you can do your own as well. That doesn't work. So you have some good colors here. Now I am aware I'm talking to myself at this stage, but you know, it's fun. I don't have much to do today. So okay, so here you go. You have all the elements in your hand. I don't think I've left anything out. If I have, just remind me, let me know. And I hope this is useful, and I hope you have a great day today.